Okay, the next part is going to be the top, which I want to be 900 by 600. I'm going to, those are 150, so I'll dock those down to 950. I'll allow myself, an inch either end for squaring up purposes. So I'll dock those down to length, dress them on the jointer, one edge, one top, run them through the thicknesser and tidy them all up so that they're all equal. I won't take it down to final thickness yet. What I'll do is because I'll need to glue up in 4, my thicknesser can't do 600 wide, but it can do 500. So I'll glue them up in 2 parts, tape them down to size, final size, on the thicknesser, and then glue the 2 together. That way I've only got one glue joint to get right. So I'll go ahead, I'll dock those off, I'll get them dressed down to rough size, and then I'll come back to you when we're ready to glue up. Okay, they're dressed. So slightly oversized, as I said. Sort of looking at what's the best size. Those 2 are definitely down. It's about that. Just trying to look at how that pattern's going to work. We've got a sort of shape in there going out into the light, or we could border the light with the 2 darker on the outside, or we could use the light on the outside and bring in to the dark in the middle. And to be honest, I actually think that is probably the best. Okay, for me, for my eyes. Before we, they've been through the thicknesser, they're lovely and square and straight, but the thing with tabletops is I always run them over the jointer. That's going to be an outside edge, that's going to be an inside edge. That's an outside, that's an inside, that's an outside, that's an inside, and the whole thing will go together like that. Right, the reason I've marked outside, inside is, even though the jointer, by my reckoning, is 90 degrees, it may not be. And it doesn't matter if it is or isn't, because if that one goes outside, so that's away from the fence, it runs across. This one, which butts up to it, goes face to inside, goes to the face. Any irregularity with fence, one will cancel the other out, so you'll actually get a perfect 90-degree joint. Because if one's out a few degrees one way and the other's out a few degrees the other way, they cancel each other out. So that's why I always do it this way. And so, okay, you don't need to see me gluing this up, you don't need to see me doing anything more with it. I'll come back to you when the whole thing's glued up and we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, I've cut a whole lot of little blocks. This is how I'm going to attach the tabletop. There's many different ways to attach. You can make little buttons that fit into slots. So you draw a slot and then you make a little button that goes into it. Because of this one's very lightweight, I'm doing it for myself. I'm just going to cheat and put these blocks on. So I'm just going to rub the glue until it gets a bit sticky and just level it up. And I'm going to put 4 each side. and 2 on the ends. This will be more than enough strength to hold on the tabletop. So I'll go around now and I'll attach the rest of them. Now, you might be wondering, they're not even held on with clamps, they're just glue rubbed until, they stick. You rub the glue, a piece together and you'll start to feel the stick. But that will hold, as long as it's long grain to long grain. That will be very, very strong. And all we do is drill a hole down into there, wiggle it a little bit at the top so that it allows for any sort of movement, and then we can screw that down. There's the top sitting there, ready to be dimensioned tomorrow when I can get back into the shed. I've just spent 5 hours outside water blasting the garage and carport ready for painting, so we'll see when we get a little bit more time to get back in here. But that is how I'm going to attach the top in this case. These are the times when having a sliding table saw are really useful, because you can put a great big side in and cut and trim it. So when you're looking at your first table saw, or looking for a table saw, having a sliding table extension is a very handy feature to have. Now if you don't have a sliding table, there are other ways to cut these ends. Setting up a track saw, a skill saw on a track. There's lots of different ways that you can cut this. I'm going to use this method because I can. And all we'll do now is that this end's trimmed. We'll now trim the other end to the right length, and then it's onto the router and put a bit of edge on it. Okay, the router's all set up. I'm going to put a half round on this edge, top and bottom. Always start with the ends first, because you will get chip out. Okay, I'll do the other end and flip it over and do the others, and I'll come back when it's all done. Okay, we now have our profile what we wanted. So now it's a bit of sanding. I'll just show you a little trick with router bits. Okay, router bits, as you know, dull. So here's an example of a router bit. what I generally like to do before I use them is just grab a bit of diamond stone and a flat face, and just give them a bit of a touch up. That just keeps them nice and sharp, and you know me and sharp. I like things to be sharp. So it only takes a couple of seconds, and you've got nice sharp edges on your bit again. Okay, everything's been finished sanding, so now I'm just going to put the holes through here, ready for screwing down the top. So I'm just going to come out, put them on a bit of an angle so it's easier to run the screws in. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. There we are, one finished table. Very simple, basic design, but with this going in the laundry, it's just going to be holding, somewhere to fold clothes. But those are the basics of table building. You can make any size, any style you like, but those are the basics. If you follow those basics, you can make any table.